We've seen last year this onshoring or friendshoring, China plus one. So when we see China grow this way, the expectation is north of 5%. What is the impact on the global economy while we have countries trying to sideline China, trying to do things on their own?
I think, Emily, we've seen the impact of some of the geopolitical tensions over the last little while. And it's unfortunate because geopolitics, unfortunately, actually polarize the world and is dividing the world. And that's not good for economic growth, obviously. What has driven, a better world or strong economic growth before, which was globalization, and we've seen how that has been slowly changing because of geopolitics, and so what's happening now is, instead of global trade, people are looking at regional trade and bilateral trade, et cetera, and so you've got, obviously the likes of RCEP, which is the largest regional trade agreement or free trade agreement in the world. Those are going to drive new economic growth going forward, and we hope that there's more multilateralism, which is good for the world, good for societies, and will fuel better growth than what we're looking at, what we've seen before, which is, sidelining, the second largest economy. But you can't, because you can't change the trend. China is the second largest economy, and when I talk to CEOs and businesses, and what's interesting from our CEO survey is China remains to be their second choice in terms of the investment destination. That hasn't changed. U.S. has been the number one and China has been number two for over the last decade. And despite everything that we're seeing today, CEOs are telling us that China remains their second choice of investment destination. So that's good news.
So what's going to happen? Today's big news, the New Hampshire primary. It is believed that former President Trump won the New Hampshire primary. So if he is to get back into the White House, what is that going to do to multilateralism?
I'm not a politician. I can't predict what's going to happen, but what we've seen what happened when he was president. So I think we should probably expect that some of the restrictions, trade restrictions, some of the restrictions around technology will probably continue. And that's probably regardless of who's going to be the president. But that's not going to change. That's just going to change how, economic growth is going to happen in a divided way, as opposed to everybody growing. So I can't predict what he's going to do. All I can say is, China will continue its journey in terms of focusing on quality growth, and we should expect some of the issues, some of the uncertainties that we've seen over the last little while to continue.